Chao's made such a big impact here in Europe recently. He's not so much in America. CLG have spent a lot of time out there, but as you say, they've done their research. And if you've got that kind of dominance, the CLG turn to say, okay, we're not going to take them lightly. We do have to do our research. We have to look at what they're playing. And they're banning against you. That's got to put something back in Acer's mind. Okay, so they are a little bit worried. They know what we can do. They are specifically trying to play against it. So let's try and catch them out. Let's try and surprise them. Let's play a little bit different from the normal. Give them something they're not expecting.
And right now, Udia is something that I wasn't going to be expecting either. The Man-Bear Pig, a champion that can be very, very disruptive, very powerful, especially if he gets fed. As I start talking about him, it swaps out immediately to Jace. So I like that. Jace in the top lane. Zyra also doesn't give away. It could be support Zyra, which is the sort of trend at the moment. That's her favored position, EU. You know, there was a time when she was favored in the mid lane. But if that's going to say, all right, we've got Zyra in the bottom lane, that immediately tells you it's aggressive. They want to play for kills. They want to play for stats and for numbers. Jace in the top lane, I mean, everybody knows Jace in the top lane. Acceleration, shock blast, melt people's faces, amazing damage, range, poke. He's also got some good escapes when you use his hammer, and etc. So, I like the pick. It's good, but Wicked's got a lot of time to think, who am I going to play against that?
Exactly, as you say, you pick him that early, he can get countered pick. He's not invincible anymore. He's had a recent couple of changes. Wicked knows what he's doing with it. As we do see Snoopy, he's hovering over Leona. Are you going to lock it? Yes. We're going to see Creeper's Leona. So like Creeper's Blitzcrank, it's a champion that he can play in that bottom lane and take control. Creeper loves to and will happily control CLG if they let him. He will make the calls. He will initiate the team fights, long-range ultimates, flash, E, Q, whatever it takes. Creeper can control this team. And on a support like Blitzcrank or a support like Leona, he can really make the plays.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's one of the champions that is game-changing. If you land a good solar flare and lock people up for, even half a second, that slow is, I believe, it's 80% if you don't land the stun. That is an immense movement speed reduction. If, however, that grasping roots from Zyra can catch Ezreal before he arcane shifts, it could counter it. You could have a situation where Ezreal is sitting in the backline from that very, very long-range grasping roots from Zyra, and Graves can just put a full buckshot into Leona's face. Even the possibilities there, but I like it. Both teams are going with that very aggressive, very high CC, high crowd control, high utility type of supports. And down the line, Udyr is actually locked in. So this tells me it's going to be an Udyr in the jungle, Jace top, and then, of course, they're leaving their top lane, their AP middle lane pick for last.
Or, alternatively, they're leaving their AP middle lane, and they've already got it.
It is true. It is true. They also true. Leaves the opportunities there. Olaf against Udyr against Olaf. Not too bad. They're not going to put him in the top lane, but I'm just thinking in terms of those dive-heavy, movement-based, champions. Olaf's going to be trying to get to the back line to tear people apart. Udyr's going to be trying to do the same, getting to the back line and tearing people apart. Who do you prefer?
I prefer Olaf. Simple as that. I want to talk about it. I prefer Olaf. He's just got that Ragnarok. He can get through there a bit better. Udyr just becomes a bit more of a crowd control bot, just running around stunning everyone and absorbing skill shots. But now the crowd can see it. There's the Nivea.
That's what we wanted to see.
Keep picking it up. It's the safe pick. Froggen's okay. It's not banned. I don't know whether I'm against Zyra or something else. What can I do? What can I just sit and farm? What can I play safe? What do I know best? She's there.
And
the bird.
And you know what this counters as well? Udyr coming in aggressive. If Udyr decides to be very, very, hard, dive in, bear stance, behind enemy lines, crystallize up, blow him up, and then jump on the rest of the team. So It has been a while since we have seen the Froggenivia.
It has.
I would be brave enough to say OGN would have been the last time I think I've seen it. Now,
last time I remember it.
I'm sure there are people in chat that will be saying, oh my god, how can you not remember this? But I believe the last time was OGN. And on the flip side, are we going to see a Lux in the middle? The range can work. You can stay out of range of the Flash Frost, the stun. And yeah, it's Lux, flavor of the moment. I like this, but not much beefiness. Not too much tankiness outside of Udyr.
On top of that, Lux's burst, we've already seen Froggen shows exactly how much it can be earlier on. And Anivia being one of the slowest champions in the game, pretty easy to land that skill shot, provided he's not hiding behind too many creeps. And as I say, Lux double binding. It can go through creeps if you skill it right. So Citizen Wayne, let's see quite what he's got up his sleeve, whether he can pull it off, or of course if Froggen's just sheer Anivia skill weighs out on tops at the end of the day. But as you say, amazing in the jungle in Udyr. Last time I saw Udyr in the jungle, Moscow 5.
Yeah.
They ran it. They made it do all kinds of crazy things that a lot of people weren't expecting. I wasn't expecting from a caster point of view. I hadn't seen anyone else do anything quite like that since. has Amazing got something up his sleeves? I've only actually seen him playing Nunu, to be honest. It was that game on Monday.
There is something else we do need to touch on, though, because Udyr is going to do very, very well if you can get in range to land that bear stun. All right? Yes. If you can get close enough to apply the stun, get the Phoenix and the Tiger procs on at later levels, etc., and look at how long the CC is from Lux and from Zyra. Grasping roots as well as light binding. That's a very long-range route. It's going to allow Amazing the ability to actually run into the lane and apply the CC as opposed to flash, bear stun, slap in the face, which is what we usually used to seeing from him.
It's an interesting way, and especially the fact he's got that bear stun move speed. He's then got the acceleration gate from Shabs as well, and it wouldn't surprise me to maybe see a Shirelius built somewhere down the line. So it's a very quick, immediate boost of speed wherever they do decide to go. But Froggen, still, best in the game, quick wall, or even just planting his ultimate down. This that AoE slow will stop, if not Udyr, it will stop the rest of his team closing the gap and helping him out.
And we are into the loading screen. We'll see whether or not the heavy team fight, crowd control, team-based team of CLG will be able to take out the slightly more skirmish, long-range poke type team that's coming out of Team Acer. Skin War is up. Gentleman Cho'Gath is on the field, but so is Mafia Graves.
It's Gentleman You can't. It's Gentleman Cho'Gath.
Up you go. Up you go. So, nom nom nom. Gentleman Cho'Gath in the jungle for Snoopy. It is something that we've seen him playing time and time and time again. And in terms of team compositions, where's your preference, Panks?
My preference, it has to be with CLG. It's tried, it's tested, it's true. It's simple as that. They've got Olaf, of course, who will make you charge towards the back line, and then when you do try and peel it off, you've got Froggen to sit there, wall them away, slow them with his AoE ultimate, stun them if you need to at the long range. Snoopy, that 3-second silence, should he need it, right off the bat, will turn fights on its own. But we are in game. You can see the game. We have both teams setting up for level 1. So without further ado, rather than do it for one for each team, one big cheer from the crowd. Let's get this going.
DreamHack Winter 2012 Group A. This is game number 2 of 6 that are going to be on stream today. We see a very defensive start right now for CLG.EU. The undertow goes out. It doesn't manage to land onto Shabs. Shabs is definitely going to have the advantage in the early levels against Olaf. If you can convert that into an item lead or some form of kill lead, he may be able to keep in the lead there. But I am afraid that if Olaf eventually gets some items, gets some HP, some regen, he's just going to be able to land undertow after undertow and stick to Jace and not be able to go anywhere. While I'm waffling though, it looks like CLG are moving in.
They have brought their bottom lane back up towards this side of the jungle. They do check that far bush using a quick Q from Yellow P and an undertow from Wicked. But as before, they just walk in, plant that ward deep past the Wraith camp, and that's all they're happy to do. It gives them so much information on Amazing's Udyr. When they know he hits that Wraith camp, when they know he hits that Red, it's going to give them a great amount of info on the timings for when he'll appear in top lane, or if he won't appear in top lane. And of course on the respawn time for those camps. So Wicked should feel fairly comfortable, at least till the 3-4 minute mark, that he's either not going to be ganked or the exact moment he will, he's going to know it.
And it does need to be pointed out as well, Team Acer have their own ward over at the Wraith bushes, near the CLG side. So they're going to have vision as well. They're going to know when Cho is moving in and out, when he's starting to clear those waves. Both teams are starting on their respective wolf camps. But we do see a lane swap. Leona and Ezreal going up top lane against Jace. And I think technically both of these teams can do well under the 2v1 situation. Jace, of course, having the ranged abilities, having the great burst of his acceleration shock blast, and it can just melt waves once he gets a few levels into it. And of course, Olaf may be a little bit more difficult at the low levels because he is very reliant on mana and that undertow.
That's what I wanted to check. What's Wicked's base mana regen sitting at? Has he ruined it for any of this? He's only got 10. That's not exactly high. And without the blue buff from this side, he might have a little bit of an issue. But ultimately, this may be why they're doing the swap. Snoopy, Pete, and Creepo immediate invade onto this red buff.
Yeah, such a great play. Steal that away from Udyr. And of course, Udyr needs the red buff. He needs it. He's an auto-attack champion. He relies on getting the consistent spells over time, landing Phoenix, landing Tiger, landing Bear, swapping between them. And of course, having that red buff is going to play into his favor. We do see, though, that they know he's doing it. They know Amazing is going for that bottom red. Can Shabs get away? This is a 3v1. Imagine he puts down the acceleration gate. Oh, flash forward. Is it into the Zenith Blade of the Shield of Daybreak? Creepo has been slowed. Is it going to be enough? He steps away. One more tower hit would have killed him. A little bit aggressive, a bit optimistic, but they almost got it.
I think they could have made it work, but unfortunately Snoopy's knockup was just a second too late and gave him that chance to flash away and escape out of it. So a little bit optimistic, but slight miscommunication from CLG kind of put him on the back foot. Now, though, we have Amazing here at the Golems and the bottom lane for CLG. Does take the big one and leaves it just at that. And is hanging around. With his lane being pushed straight up, he does come out from behind the turret. Has pushed Wicked away from it. Lume, though, takes a couple of shots that he probably shouldn't have. The snare goes down from Imi. There's the finish stance damage, but Amazing taking a couple more shots, and he has to leave before they can get the damage they need to finish Wicked off.
Yeah, and it's just that small misstep, just going in before the creep line, taking 1 or 2 tower hits, and that immediately cancels the 3v1. So Wicked's going to be very happy with this. He's still taking a lot of pressure, and he may not be able to hang around, although they are very, very low. Ignite is... no, he doesn't. It's Ghost and Heal, which have been used as well. So Summoner spells down. If Amazing comes to set up a gank in the next couple of minutes, or, you know, if Wicked gets low again, they could potentially dive him without having that Summoner Heal available.
Look at his health, straight back up. He's used all his potions, he's got that life still on his W, of course. Straight back up to full. He's still only on 4 CS, which, interestingly enough, is the same for Shabs, despite the fact he was so solo for a long time, but he's been initiated on by Creepo. Creepo does take a lot of tower damage, but it's not enough, and Pete picks up the first blood.
Such great mechanical play. Creepo was literally 1 millimeter away from turret aggro. Oh, look at that. Rupture lands, Feral Scream into the stun. They're going to carry on chasing. Red buff is down. Cleanse on the Ignite. One more attack. Is it going to be enough? The shield is there, and that's going to prevent the damage. Citizen Wayne steps away with 50 HP. And, pretty good game from Snoopy.
Very, very good. Knockup landing right on the edge of the range, and with the added slow from it, allowed Froggen to land his stun. But still, not quite enough. That shield from Lux just enough to enable that Ignite to tick down without too much more damage. So only a 600 gold lead for CLG, but it is 600 gold in their top lane on Creepo and on Yellow Pigs. It's on their AD carry. Fairly important character to get fed. But, as I mentioned before, Shabs, despite the free farm time he had for a long time on his own, he's only on 4 CS. So Wicked's actually winning in this lane swap, despite being in the, what seemed to be, worst position.
Yeah, that is it. It's a little bit early because, you know, there was a lot of attention onto Shabs. They did that very, very early level 1, level 2 gank, which obviously didn't pay off. Then, obviously, you could see Yellow Pete and Creepo diving onto him. But this is the problem that Shabs has with Jace. If he does get caught, that's it. You know, Arcane Shift is going to jump forward, going to close the gap. Oh, another great rupture from Snoopy onto Citizen Wayne in the middle lane. But, you know, if he gets caught by a Zenith Blade, he's going to be held in place. He can only knock one person back. And if he knocks Ezreal away, all he's going to do is Arcane Shift and close the gap. Amazing walks into the lane, eats a Mystic Shot to the face, and then, you know, immediately starts backing off. They're still hovering around a little bit, so both junglers helping out both respective top laners, and in this case, Wicked being the bot laner, just for this lane swap. And it's going to allow him to go back. 19 CS in hand. We'll see what he's going to decide to purchase. Doesn't really have enough for Philo Stone outright, but maybe just a regrowth pendant from Fairy Charm, or, in this case, the Doran Shield, HP regen per 5, and some wards.
So, let's have a look at mid lane. We've been a little bit quiet since that gank, but 38 CS to 30. Well, there is a nice stack of minions here for Citizen Wayne, so we should be able to close that gap once he picks them out. It's not too drastic, and he did buy that single Doran's ring on his first back. Going to get another chalice coming out from Froggen, of course. I don't really know what to predict Froggen to build on Anivia, because he always seems to have something different up his sleeve.
You and I are both thinking about a Warmog's armor, so, you know, I expect that in there at some point. But, you know, it depends how the lane goes. It depends how well they start to snowball. You know, 6.5 minutes in, Team Acer they're only 700 gold behind. You know, it's not a huge amount of money at this moment in time. They're farming relatively well. They're keeping up in that regards. And, you know, it's too early to start calling how the lanes are going. But they have swapped. They have decided that they want to put the AD carry support versus AD carry support. And let's take a quick look at the two of these. Zyra and Graves versus the Leona and Ezreal. I think the burst favor is in favor of the Graves-Zyra combination, but the CC favor goes to Leona.
And especially now that Snoopy's up here too. There's the Q comes, the EQ comes in from Creepo, stunning down onto Lumia, but Snoopy's not quite in range for the knockup. Lumi doesn't quite stand in that rupture for long enough though, and will ultimately survive. A little bit too soon perhaps from Creepo.
Yeah, just that half second too soon, just before Snoopy could get close enough to land a rupture. But nevertheless, good attempt. It's going to disrupt the team at the very least. No summoner spells have been blown by the top lane at the moment. That is for Acer. They both have Flash Heal as well as Flash Ignite available if they do decide to go for an engagement. They put some damage onto Yellow Pete. Take a look at this. The Eclipse is down. Creepo eats a couple of towers. Lumi's going to carry on chasing. Ignite is ticking. It may not be enough. The slows are now onto Yellow Pete. If they decide to carry on chasing, this may be a kill. Lumi and Imi, can they do it? Flash! Grasping Roots immediately flash away from Creepo. Summoner spells. Flash forward from Loom. Ignite is ticking. Can he get through the armor? One more auto attack. And that is great play from Acer to even the score 1-1.
Beautifully executed kill in that top lane. Features a little bit too much damage from those plants. If you can stand there and leave it doing constant damage to you over and over again. It's deceptive how much it does, and suddenly Pete found himself with a lot less health than he thought he would. They initiated Acer to dive in like that, and with the lane in such a strong position, CLG going to lose a lot of CS from this, and Lume can keep picking his up.
It was really, really smart play from Lume. You could see him chasing, you could see him running, he knew what his health was, and he was just waiting for the cooldown on Buckshot. He was literally watching that timer going 3, 2, come on, and as soon as it was available, flashed forward, landed the buckshot, and picked up the kill. So that's both of the AD carries now 1-to-1. If farm is, as even as it's going to be, 48 to 55, 7 is not really anything to write home about. Double Dorans and boots to double Dorans, boots and Vamp Scepter. So at least a little bit more sustained going in favor of Yellow Pete. But with engagements like that, with some CC like that, Acer could maybe pick up 1 or 2 more kills.
Wicked at level 7 to Shabs' level 5, and on top of the fact that now that CS difference is huge. Now that they're 1v1ing, giving them a massive advantage. You get a quick burst of true damage down into Shab, and with one more undertow, he's at half health, and he still hasn't been able to hit 6. Snoopy's down in the bottom half of the map. If we could possibly see a lane gang come in here and see them dive onto Shab. He will hit 6 shortly, but that's not a massive difference here as far as the bottom is concerned, especially if he keeps catching these undertows. Okay, they're bottom, they're not top anymore, but this matchup, this 1v1 Bruiser matchup, is so dependent on levels, and when Wicked keeps this far ahead, Shabs is going to have a tough time until he gets some kind of help from whether he's mid or jungle.
Yeah, it's just going to grow exponentially. If you take a look at how Wicked is leveling his Olaf, 4 points into that undertow, 2 points into Reckless Swing, so he's literally going, the 1v2 lane where you max your Q first. The slow is very, very powerful, and as long as you can pick that axe up, the cooldown is very, very short. Jace is not going to be able to get away from him, especially if he activates Ragnarok and goes for that kill. So 59 CS to 31, exactly double, taking this bottom lane tower to 50% HP, and look at the rest of CLG. They're moving down to the Dragon. You can see it's pretty clear that they want to pick up a 10.5 minute Drake, and with 5 members there and Graves and Zyra nowhere to be seen, this is going to be a very, very easy Dragon for them.
Yeah, Peter Creeper just slowly ran all the way down the river, no contest whatsoever, and, well, what would Zyra and Graves have to do? They were on base, they didn't really realize what was going on at that point. Now that it's here, it would be too late for them to come down, and it would be 5v3 because of the way the flames are matched up for CLG and Acer. But he taking a lot of damage there from the Dragon that he probably shouldn't have, but Shabs unfortunately didn't know this and could not land that shock blast. So CLG pick up their first Dragon.
So that extends the gold lead just a little bit further. You can see both Froggen and Yellow Pete were considering the recall. Wicked just taunting Shabs a little bit, standing on his side of the creeps going, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to fight? Bring it. Like he's not worried. Top lane tower is taking a lot of damage, potentially going to go down, especially with this cannon wave here. The tower down and having your AD carry and your support in the top lane, it's not normally the type of roaming type champions that you would tend to see, but it can work. Zenith Blade does land, is going to follow it up. There's no one nearby though. Cripper, what are you doing? Strangle Thoughts is going to knock him in the air. Now Lumi's going to carry on chasing. Ignite is ticking away. Amazing gets in place, but it's not going to be enough to pick up an assist. He's there for the experience, and Cripper maybe a little over ambitious.
Yeah, very overly confident there from Crepo. Didn't quite manage to land that ult stun that he wanted, and of course Zyra got her ult down before his stun went out anyway, so he took the knock-up, and from that point he was dead. So yeah, a little bit overconfident perhaps, shouldn't see him doing that too much again, but ultimately has put Acer ahead in the kill game. CLG are still up in the gold thanks to that Dragon, but what good's taking a free Dragon if you're just going to go and throw away kills anyway?
I definitely think we're going to have to keep an eye on the mid lane now for the next couple of minutes, and the reason I say so, Citizen Wayne, Sorcerer Shoes completed, as well as a needlessly large rod. So he's going for a hyper aggressive type build. He's going to need to pick up this blue buff because he doesn't have a Chalice of Harmony, and Lux's mana costs are particularly high. If you're going to be spamming them out and trying to pick up kills in that regard. But if he does catch somebody, at this stage in the game, that is going to be a huge amount of damage going on to pretty much anybody on the CLG roster.
Like this from Acer, they swapped their bottom lane back to bottom lane. So it's going to be 2v1 onto Wicked again. He's not going to have quite as much free time as he had before. But they're also bringing Shabs down here as well. Are they going to try and gank him before they can properly switch this up? I mean, the top lane, yes, they've taken that turret down, and normally we saw Wicked in fact do it in the last game. So Giants do it in the last game. They took that top turret down on Olaf, and they just kept pushing to the tier 2. You can't really do that so much with this AD carry support bottom lane pairing. So it's smart that they swapped it back this way. It's smart they brought Shabs down here with them, and maybe even rush out this second turret to try and even out that Dragon gold. Yeah,
it's going to play into their favor if they can. Oracle's Elixir picks up a ward. Nobody in the crowd this time decides to chant. Now in the bottom lane, there's the Shock Blast combo. Wicco takes a little bit of poke with Jace and Graves landing tower damage onto this bottom lane tower. It will go down particularly quickly. Amazing immediate response with the ward kill of his own. So both junglers wearing the Oracle's Elixir. 400 gold investment that they need to make sure they hold on to and don't give away unnecessarily. This is a 4 versus 3 on the bottom lane. Frog and Yellow are very far away. And take a look at Lux coming in. Stranglethorns is available actually, so we'll see if they're going to decide to go for a dive here. Life Binding or a Grasping Root is all that requires. Hold somebody in place, get that secondary set of CC, and then carry on forcing it down. Another ward kill, and now the crowd starts to wake up just a little bit. The members of CLG are backing off, and it looks like they're going to just give up this tower.
Yep, as soon as they found this ward here, they knew they were clear. They knew that Acer had spotted everyone down here, and now that it's all 5 members of Acer here, they're not going to fight that. They didn't want to bring Froggen down. They didn't want to bring Pete down from the top lane, because ultimately Pete's had free farm this whole time. So 1 tower for getting your AD carry free farm, that's not too bad.
No, not too shabby at all. It hasn't equated to quite as much as you might think or you'd like to see, but nevertheless, 2 towers down for Team Acer. They've got the kill advantage right now, but they are still 900 gold down. So that's the really, really interesting thing. But look at your numbers: 147 CS on Froggenivia. Middle lane Flash Frost doesn't manage to land the stun. It's half a second too late, but the damage burst was really, really high. In comparison, 124 for Citizen Wayne. 50 CS difference between both of our top laners, Jace and Olaf. That is a huge, huge, huge amount of gold. The thing is, though, if Acer can play it right and they can use the poke, the long-range snares, the long-range damage, they won't need to get into an engagement where that amount of gold will come into play, where you will notice it. If they can keep CLG at bay, keep them relatively low under tower sieges, they can hold them back and you won't actually notice that gold difference in the fights.
Yeah, Amazing comes down here with his Oracle to try and get Wicked off this turret. He needs to be careful. If Wicked does take this down and tries to try and fight him 1v1, he could lose that Oracle. You see Wicked just taking no damage from Udyr during that. So ultimately, Amazing does decide he has to back away and be very careful, as Wicked takes the first turret of the game for CLG.
Yeah, so 2-1, that pushes them a little bit further. And definitely the pace of this game is somewhat slower. It's not quite as high as the previous matchup that we've seen. Take a look at Frog and how he's building Chalice of Harmony into Tear of the Goddess, into Wota. Will of the Agents is completed, and you can sort of see why. I mean, with the exception of Olaf, everybody else is going to do somewhat better with ability power. Cho'Gath, Ezreal, even Leona are going to gain some additional, damage, some additional utility with that extra AP. So I like the itemization. I think it works with his team. I want to see where he's going to take it from here.
Pete pressuring Shabs here in the top lane.
Middle lane.
At the same time.
Middle lane is going to be a Zenith Blade into Citizen Wayne. Solar Flare comes down. Now the Stranglethorns has been followed out. Take a look at the Lucian Singularity goes down. Life Binding lands, but there is no laser available. Final Spark had been used by Citizen Wayne. That ended up once again being an overcommitment from Krepo. He threw the Solar Flare down, landed it onto Citizen Wayne, but nobody else was just close enough. So as that stun was wearing off, Lux was able to flash to safety and get away. But Krepo a little bit too hungry for blood, as it seems.
Likely, we do see Imi trying to land a snare down there onto Snoopy. All of Acer are closing down in on this Dragon Pet. CLG are looping arrow from one side, and well, both teams are a little bit split, but Shabs is slowly closing in onto his squad. That do need to be careful. Citizen get walled off by Nibby, but the stun's going to land instead. But he is there amongst his team, and Froggen is very low. He has Egg, yes, but if he gets popped into that straight at the start of the fight, he still needs to be very careful. Amazing chasing Wicked off down towards the bottom of the pen, while the rest of CLG are still in the top side, trying to push onto this turret. Shabs are doing his best bet to try and keep them away from it. We're still waiting for that perfect moment where each of the teams feels ready to engage. Creeper, do you have your ult back up? No, you don't, so they might even be waiting for that, but the dragon has spawned. Wicked now sees that Amazing has pulled it. CLG going to drop a ward in the back side of the pen. Pete just trying to poke out through the bushes, just keeping as much damage down to these guys as he can. Wicked is still a little bit split, but Acer are all as a group. Undertow takes a massive chunk of Zyra's health off. Wicked just comes in again just to be short. They do manage to kill that ward in the back side of the pen though. CLG do lose vision on the dragon.
Now take a look at this. Stranglethorns is not available and will not be available for a little longer. The thing is, Solar Flare is though, so if they decide to go for this and commit to this fight rather, Leona's going to be able to offer more than what Zyra can. The longer they drag it out, the sooner, well, the closer we're going to get to using that ability. Acer decides to back away though. The Shock Blast combo into Yellow Pete is hitting pretty hard. Brutalizer almost finished for Jace. And a very, very nice crystallized wall closes off that little right-hand passageway, and CLG is just going to say, you know what, fine. You want to juke, you want to, fight, you want to play this game. We'll take 50% of the health off that center lane tower. Froggen eats a little bit of damage. The Shock Blast goes down to Yellow Pete. Now the Rupture onto Citizen Wayne. Feral Scream's going to pick up the kill. Collateral damage in the background. And it was just, just eating too much poke. Rupture, Stun, Feral Scream, Mystic Shot, all the way at the back behind the tower, and picked up a fairly easy kill onto Citizen Wayne.
Here's the thing though, Citizen Wayne had used his ult, so he wasn't going to have that in the fight. CLG used a lot of ultimates in that, especially they used Creepos. Imi still has his. He's going to make his way down as Snoopy kills another ward. Froggen is doing his best to try and zone them out, but he is now off and around one side. Could they still fight CLG if they want to go for it? The Dragon is down, but Acer opted, no, it's not worth it. They're going to back away. They could maybe try and attempt that 4v5, but if it went backwards, then it's tragic again.
The thing is, a few seconds ago, that was a situation where the goal difference was, 2,000, 2,500, and it didn't really equate to much. With a couple of waves of farm being picked up by CLG, as well as securing that Dragon, now they find themselves 4,000 gold in the lead. Let's have a quick look at the numbers and exactly how that equates. Top lane, 5,500 to 3,800, which is an immense number. And that's before Wicked picks up his, payday check at the moment with this massive creep wave on the bottom lane.
I love that you can just farm with Olaf, running one end of the wave to the other, throwing an axe, one end axe. Simple as that. Pete, though, did come in and help out with his blue buff, which they had passed off to Froggen. And, well, he's got another tier now. He still hasn't quite built anything else on his build. He's carrying around about 1,000 gold. 2,700 here on Wicked, as you mentioned. Let's wait and see where that all goes. Citizen Wayne picks himself up a blue buff and turns towards the mid lane to try and pick up the CS before it goes into the tower. We're now at this point again where Acer, they're behind. They can't really look to make too many of these plays. They've got to farm, try and regain their footing in this game and wait for something to happen. CLG, they don't want to make any plays. They're not ready to go for turrets. They're not ready to go for a dragon because it's dead. Baron, not even worth risking it. So they're happy to just sit back, keep farming themselves. Their lanes are pushing in. They can pick up the big waves like Wicked did. They can pick up the top lane like Yellow Peters, and he's slowly going to push it into this turret too. So they still have that they wish to take, and they still have mid turret, which they haven't taken down yet. So it's in CLG's hand. We could see Creeper going a little bit too overcommitted again. We could see him throwing his life away, and as a result throwing an objective or even throwing an entire fight. But ultimately, I think he's been reined in a little bit, especially after we saw the way that last fight went. He had a couple of opportunities to get it going. And CLG are starting to creep back up towards this mid lane. Wicked is now here now. Froggen and Creeper here as well. Citizen doesn't quite manage to move off the ward. There it goes. As he snares Wicked up.
I'm a little bit nervous about this build that we see from Team B as the solo Eclipse goes down. Zenith Blade does manage to catch onto Amazing. There comes the Shield of Daybreak, going to stun him up for a second, but nobody else is going to jump onto the Man-Bear Pig. In his turtle form, it tanks so much damage. But this is a complete all-in build from Team Acer. You've got Brutalizer, Dawn's Blades, and Boots on Jace. You've got the makings of a Death Cap. No Athena's and Holy Grail yet for Lux. You've got the makings of a Infinity Edge for Graves. There's very, very little tankability and survivability. I mean, even Udyr, he's working towards this Aegis of the Legion, but it's still a couple items away. You compare it to the other side, Olaf. You've got a Warmog's armor, Megatron cloak, and a chain vest on Cho'Gath. Hot ruby crystals rather on every single member of Anivia, Ezreal, and Leona. They've all got additional HP. Ooh, that crystallized wall was close. And the problem here is if Acer get caught, they will die. If CLG get caught, they have the HP to survive with very low health.
Yeah, and the problem here, Acer, because they know that, because they can't fight this straight up, because they're behind the way they are, they're just trying to poke in on this. And at the moment, even their poke's not very strong. And what can you do against an Anivia? I mean, we saw that the last DreamHack. Moscow 5 gave it their best bet. Froggen just went, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to plant my ult, I'm going to plant my wall, you can't get past. Plant my ult, plant my wall, you can't get past. 39,000 gold down. CLG came back, said, right, we're stronger than you now. Well, team fight, we win. So Acer need to think of some other way to get through this. Poking this CLG squad's not going to do too much.
Yeah, and as soon as that blue buff runs out for Citizen Wayne, he's left, upper paddle without a creek. Or upper creek without a paddle, that's a better way of saying it. He's got no mana regen to speak of with the exception of that Dawn's Ring. And the reason you build, take a look at the Solar Flare goes down, Creeper's coming in from behind. This is a little bit of split focus. Snoopy's taking a lot of damage. Yellow Pete needs one tower shot for his troubles. But the rest of Acer, they're not confident enough to commit to this fight just yet, or throw an all-in when it's Cho'Gath that's taking the brunt of the damage.
I don't think Creeper has played Leona for quite some time. That's the second ultimate we've seen him miss completely, not to mention the free death he gave up in the top lane. So a little bit off his game with his champion, playing the new ones, playing this rank a bit more. So we'll see if he comes back to that later on, see if he turns his game around after a little bit more practice. But yeah, he's trying to initiate twice with these ultimates, missed them completely. CLG just peeled away, took a lot of damage in the process, but they didn't really mind, they just peeled away. So they can afford to keep doing this for a little bit longer.
Yeah, the flip side to that, if it had landed, just to play devil's advocate. If it had landed, it would have stunned 1 or 2 champions. It would have allowed a rupture to land. It would have allowed a stun from the Nivea to land, etc. So, Acer, they're doing okay. They've stalled the game. The gap is 4,000 gold, which at 23 minutes is not really massive. Even the True Shot barrage damage there from the Bloodthirster of Ezreal, not really doing a huge chunk to Shabs. But of course, having a Bloodthirster on hand, you need those auto attacks to really be draining people of their hit points. So I kind of like what Acer are doing. They need to just find farm. As long as they can find farm and find money in these next 5 or 10 minutes, they could put themselves in a position where they can engage. And I like their engagement possibilities. A light binding and a grasping roots is very long range. It's going to hold people in place. It's going to allow a bear stun. It's going to allow that percentage HP burst from Jace, etc. And they have the ability to blow somebody up if they can catch them.
The only thing that worries me here, you look at the CS difference between Wicked and Jace. It's at least 70. You look at the CS difference between Froggen and Lux, it's over 60. Yellow Pete to Lumi, not quite so bad, but ultimately, yes, okay, you need to sit back, you need to try and farm if you're in Acer's position. But CLG are doing the same thing, and these gaps are already huge. There's not that much CS on the map for Acer, and every time they do stop to try and do these things, they're not closing the gap down. The waves that they're getting aren't as big as CLG's. So CLG's going to keep doing this, taking 3 turrets, pushing them in.
So that evens it up as far as the turrets go, 2-2. Dragon should be respawning. Actually, it has respawned, and you can see that CLG are already making their way down there. I'm a bit nervous. Well, the other thing is it's scary as well. Is this Warmog's build on Wicked. I want to see what it's going to build into next. Earlier this week, we seen Darian going double Warmog's Ola and just having his way with everybody on the map. Was unkillable, had so much damage from his reckless swing, his vicious strikes. Now we see the little bit of a poke battle. Final spark goes out, no stun from Froggen this time around. The ultimate ticking waiting for the slow, and nobody's grouping up just yet. Good mitigation from Team Acer. They got good damage down onto Yellow Pete, but he's going to be able to lifesteal up. Take a look at this, the light binding's down. Nobody from Team Acer decides to jump in on that though. Yellow Pete is forced out of this fight. This could be the first Dragon for Acer if they play it and control it well. But there's 2 lots of true damage for Snoopy. Let's see how they're going to do it. He's tanking this tower, using the long-range grasping roots as well as that shot blast to try to keep them at bay. The light binding in the background, not going to do anything. Solar Flare goes down, lands a slow onto Zyra and Udyr. Dragon resets, they're going to carry on chasing true damage through that turtle shield of Udyr. Going to drop his HP, and we just got the Mexican standoff right now.
Yeah, Yellow Pete went away, lifestyle off some creeps, he's back up at full. Creeper, however, took a lot of poke as well, but he doesn't have that kind of lifesteal. He can't just run back to a creep, lifesteal it up and come back in. And he's used his ultimate, so that's a big part of his fight off the table. He has recalled. Acer don't know this. They still think they're here 5v5. They're still trying to poke in on this and not ready to go for this. If they went in and just said, right, we're taking Dragon now, CLG, I would be very surprised if they tried to contest it. They know they're 4v5. They don't have that support in there. They're all still fairly low themselves and would probably have to give up the Drake. But lack of vision because of this Oracles on Snoopy means Acer still left a little bit lost. And now that they've gone in to decide, okay, maybe we'll just give this a straight go. The Wicked's in the bottom lane and Frog in the mid. Cooper is back and they're going to be stalled and delayed again.
Take a look at this though. Citizen Wayne does have his death cap completed. The makings of a voice off. We'll see what this turns into. Undertow catches. Is Citizen Wayne being caught out though? He's going to be able to get away with his life. True Shot Barrage takes him a little bit low. The rest of Team Acer are sticking to the Dragon, and they do pick it up. Laser hits Yellow Pete, amazing his force back. He has the Oracle's Elixir ticking away. Reckless Swing manages to catch some damage. They've got out of this one. If they can get away without giving any kills up, that is a great play from Team Acer. They still find themselves 5,000 gold behind, but that was well played when you're behind, when you don't have the items, you don't have the HP, and they still got the objective.
Yeah, they handled that fight nicely. Well, CLG trying to catch Citizen Wayne out, Snoopy missing the knock up because he wasn't expecting him to come straight at him. Landing the silence instead. I mean, it gave Acer the Dragon, didn't pick up any kills for it, was very much worth it for Acer, but honestly feels CLG could have played that a little bit better.
Well, I'm just taking a look at the chat at the moment, and I can see, the item purchases. In the last 2 minutes, you have Rabadon's Death Kit, Infinity Edge, Slaying the Dragon, Aegis of the Legion, and Shurelia's Reverie all completed for Team Acer. That's a lot of very, very key items.
Yeah.
They need to make use of them though, and once again, look at Jace's build. A BF sword has been picked up. This is a very, very all-in build. If Jace gets caught by 1 Undertow, 1 Rupture, or 1 Stun, he's just going to get melted and deleted.
Yeah, he's just not even at all able to go into hammer form. He's just got to sit back and he's just got to poke. That's what Acer seem to be happy with. They've got the good comp for it. She said before, long-range snare route from Imi, from Zyra. Then you've got long-range poke, of course, from Citizen Wayne. Then you've got the same now from Jace. So they're just going to sit back and try and do that. But again, they're against the Nivea. I really don't see it working.
I'm taking some internet points. I'm taking some internet points because Froggen has a Warmogs completed. So he has picked it up. He's going to have that huge HP. Still hasn't even finished his Sorcerer's Shoes, I'd like to point out. 28 minutes into the game, 300 CS in his back pocket, sitting on 1,500 gold, now 10,000 almost. We'll see if he's going to finish these boots at last or if he's going to go for another big ticket item. You know, you were saying at the beginning of this matchup, Nivea, the slowest champion, you know, one of the slowest champions in the game. Froggen doesn't care. You know, the Froggen Nivea knows where to move. He knows where to go. And, you know, Sorcerer's Shoes, Tier, Warmogs, all that CS is just going to convert to tons and tons and tons of life.
Wicked and Darien. Now, we saw Darien do it on Monday. Building Force of Nature again. They haven't done this in months. Now Riot turn around and say, yeah, we're going to remove Force of Nature in the next patch. All these players have said, oh, I like this item. I've missed this. I'm going to start building it everywhere. So, quite why, quite exactly, I don't know, but it does help Olaf really well. Of course, the movement speed buff and the health regen he gets from it. Once he pops that Ragnarok, once he pops his Ghost, he's going to be so quick, running straight through that Acer lineup and sticking to the likes of Citizen Wayne and to Lumi. So, it's useful, but it's not going to be around for much longer.
Take a look at the numbers. Take a look at the numbers. Olaf, without Tier 2 boots, has 419 movement speed. That is a huge, huge number. Once he eventually finishes it, that's going to be sitting around the 430, 440 mark. The thing is, though, Team Acer, they cannot take a big engagement. Lumi's very brave coming in from the side. Stun, just missing Citizen Wayne. Going to back off for a second. A bit of damage goes onto that middle tower. And Team Acer realize they need to try and duke this one out. Now, Lumi is committing to this fight. Flash force from Froggen. Collateral damage comes out. And this is the crystallized wall that we were talking about. All of a sudden, Amazing's going to be dropped low. And nom, nom, nom. Gentleman Cho'Gath picks up the kill. Will the rest of Team Acer commit to this fight? 4 versus 5. They don't have the stun. They don't have the tankiness. A Solar Flare misses from Crepo once again, unfortunately. But the rest of Team Acer were backing off. Shabs has picked the right escape route, and he gets away to safety. But nevertheless, Oracle's down. Another kill for CLG, and they're going to be happy with that.
Yeah, and they got a reward on it too, so can't ask for more than that. But the laser does come from Citizen Wayne. Doesn't quite steal it, though. Wicked gets it with a reckless swing. Yeah, gonna try and catch Lumi though. He's doing Wolves and he's in a horrible place, but he managed to dash over the wall. But the knockup lands anyway. Wicked's now stuck to him. Yellow P comes over with an arcane chip. Lumi flashes into his base. Are they gonna chase it? They can't. They're gonna find Citizen Wayne with an undertow, but Wicked is on his own. Doesn't have any backup for that. The rest of CLG rotating to mid, however, will grab this tier 2 turret. Gonna keep his pressure up. They know that of course Lumi is low. They know Citizen Wayne is low. Could they keep going into the Indian turret? No, they're going to switch it up, go towards the top side of the map. That turret is still standing, and of course there's a Baron here waiting for them. Is this what they're making their way towards?
We'll have to see what they decide to do, but CLG have been playing this game very, very well. The slow, methodical, calculated pace, it fits them so well. CLG like taking their time. They like farming up their items, and they like bringing themselves into a match when they're comfortable to commit. And they've showed Acer the respect that they deserve. Okay. Every single one of these engagements at Dragon, every single one of these poke battles at the different lanes, stun lands onto Citizen Wayne. Take a look at the damage. The prismatic barrier shield comes up and it gets melted immediately. But, you know, they're respecting Team Acer and they're playing it slowly. They're not overcommitting to fights. They're not diving recklessly. But they are trying to make plays happen. And at the moment, CLG, they're in the lead.
Yeah, there's no doubt about this. This is a 31-minute game with 5 kills in it. It could only be CLG, but it's what they're comfortable with. It's what they've been playing for the longest time, and Acer do need to take this as compliment. You worry CLG, they go back to roots. They go back to what they've known and been doing for years, and this is exactly that. So Acer certainly got something up their sleeve. CLG got to be careful of, and they have not played this battle at all. We are not seeing them push down towards the mid lane again, but Froggen's still here, and he's on 336 CS. He's just picking up everything, and ultimately there's just next to no damage on this mid turret because of it. Just going to keep going, keep getting stronger. Acer need to find a way to chink through this CLG armor. Whether it be split pushing somehow, they've not really got a comp for it. Whether it be picking someone off in the jungle where they're not expecting it. Whatever they've got up their sleeve, they need to pull it out of the bag now. I
was looking at Froggen there just as he ate the final spark. He was just backing off from his creep wave and then deciding to recall. But that damage there, a little bit less in fact because the Warmogs was ticking away. But it actually chunked a decent amount of HP off of Froggen. Although he's got nearly 3,000 health, he doesn't have the highest amount of magic resistance. So if he does get caught by a range of abilities, the light binding, the Lucent Singularity, as well as the final spark, it could actually be enough with a little bit more poke to pick up a kill. Because again, high HP with no resistances, it's going to fall short if you continually land that poke, continually land the damage.
Cheering for Zyra plant kills as well now. But Acer are grouping up around the dragon against her because CLG are down here and have in fact engaged it already. They're going to get through this very quickly because they've got Cho'Gath, Smite and Consume if they wanted. Acer now realise that Wicked is the only member of this round. Dragon dies before that laser comes out though. CLG picks up another 1,000 gold quite comfortably.
Yeah, they're just going to extend this. Just keep taking every little bit that they can, every tiny, advantage that they can convert into, map objectives, map control, buffs, etc. And my gut feeling is that the Baron fight is going to be the big turnaround. You see a little light binding almost catching Yellow Pete there. The prismatic, the Lucent Singularity took a bit of HP off. Shock blast going through the wall. 5 members of CLG grouped up tight in this jungle. Froggen is going to be joining shortly. You got to feel that when they decide to go for this Baron, if Acer do not steal it away or pick Baron up for themselves, it's too little too late.
Yeah, let's give it a go. Pete is currently in there with Creepo. With Snoopy. They are... Nope, just toying with us. Now they're going to kill a ward. There we go. They take that one down. So there's no vision on Baron for Acer yet. CLG warding the mid lane. Going to have immediately killed by Amazing Creeper. Going to back away. Immediately changes his mind once Acer starts to reach the mid lane. But Froggen's not here. Froggen's over grabbing his blue buff. Will we actually see a turret kill from Acer? Maybe he's not there to defend it. Yellow Pete is instead that he'll use his ultimate. We're going to see the face taking a little way there. And Acer do finally manage to pick up this mid lane turret.
It was really well played there. They used their ultimate and whatnot to shove the lane. They picked up the tower. On the flip side, though, Wicked will say, well, thank you very much. We'll take your top lane tower and just, take the tower lead again, 4-3. The thing that I've got to ask myself is, when does Citizen Wayne stop using his ultimate to farm? In that engagement, they managed to actually catch Ezreal with the Grasping Roots. And if they'd had that final spark or landed a light binding onto him, they could maybe have turned it away. And what is he building? He's got another blasting wand and another amplifying tome.
Perhaps it's a crystal scepter. The only thing we've got those two items that he doesn't already own that comes to mind. But I mean, in our current situation, I built a giant spell before the amplifying tome. He doesn't really need the damage at the moment. But against that CLG squad, he's going to need to be able to stay alive. Because Wicked, look at that guy now. He's got a Randuin's Omen, Force of Nature, Warmorks, and Ninja Tabe. He's just going to run straight at Citizen Wayne. And he's got long cooldowns, and through that Ragnarok, he's not going to be able to stop him anyway. Yeah,
there's absolutely nothing they're going to be able to do against this Olaf unless Team Acer gets some sort of poke victory. Oh, Zenith Blade through the wall, Shield of Daybreak, flashes away from the stun from Froggen, so that was well played, but now they're very, very low. A great crystallized force is amazing to flash through into the red buff. Now Citizen Wayne's the next one in trouble, misses the light blinding. All the while, Baron has been under attack from Olaf. But a great play from Crepo, and just, the millisecond timing on that flash. This time around, the flash does catch Citizen Wayne. He throws out a good light binding, locks up 2 members of CLG, and immediately starts backing off. But look at the damage onto Froggen. Froggen is going to land a little bit more damage. Citizen is going to be able to get away, and once again, flashes through a wall to safety. The problem is 1, 2, 3 flashes down for Team Acer. They cannot afford to get caught again.
And all 3 of those flashes were forced just by Froggen. The guy is just everywhere with this Inivi now, locking off parts of the jungle, stunning people up, forcing them to flash over walls. The ultimate just chopping off entire pathways. And as a result, Acer are very low and very squishy. But CLG have pulled off the Baron, not quite willing to risk it yet. So do go back to switching up and pushing that mid lane. Citizen Wayne still very low, doesn't want to back away though because he knows CLG could do this again. The Baron will keep an eye on his health. Bottom left corner, down below 10,000 health. And we'll watch Acer as they try and set up to stop this. We do have Imi coming around the backside. Team are in support this time in case Creeper comes under the wall, but the ward will get killed immediately. Plants are placed down in there, trying to do a little bit of help onto the Baron damage. He's 7,500 health, going down slowly. Laser will go across and hit Yellow Pete and Wicked, taking down a little bit lower. Froggen does manage to catch Shadow Zone, locks him off and forces him to flash over into the Golem. Citizen Wayne lands a good snare onto Yellow Pete, forces a cleanse out, but the Baron is still dropping, down to 6,000 health. The CLG have decided they've taken too much damage this time and finally back it off and let it reset.
And once again, exactly the same situation. They caught Yellow Pete. They put a lot of damage down on him. If that final spark had been available and had caught Yellow Pete, it could have killed him. You add the passive proc damage, you add that huge burst from Rabadon's Death Cap as well as the Void Stop and what's the makings of a Lich Bane, in fact. So it's going to be going for the Lich Bane. It's a lot of DPS. Rupture in the background as well as the Crystals are going to lock him off. Now we see Froggen taking a little bit of tower damage. Finally, a final spark catches somebody that's locked up. The damage onto Froggen is good, but he still has a rebirth available. Acer have decided to commit to this fight. We're going to be following Wicked as he's trying to get to safety. He has popped his Ghost and his heal. Continues to run, or at least just the Ragnarok rather. Now in the background, Crepo and Froggen, they're on the other side of the trees. More undertows coming up from Wicked. He does not have Ragnarok available. True Shot Barrage from Yellow Pete comes out, doesn't manage to connect anybody. CLG decide to steal this blue buff instead. A good engagement for Acer, but they couldn't convert it to any kills.
such good peel from CLG. They suddenly realize, yeah, we don't want this fight to get out, and they all do. Acer are immediately trying to counter push up the mid lane onto the tier 2 turret, but CLG hang around, and they're at the tier 2 in the bottom lane here. They do decide that they cannot win this base race. They immediately start to recall in that bush. Damsel Space taking that turret for a little while, and they do pick up the tier 2 turret in mid. With CLG basing, Acer have used this opportunity to rush onto a Baron. There's no vision on this for CLG. They must have some kind of suspicion that's going as soon as they realize Acer aren't pushing mid anymore. But with them trying to set up a trap here in River, they might have lost their opportunity. Jab and Luke are going to start the fight. It's down to 5,000 health, and it is dropping very quickly. They're going to have CLG closing in, but will they be here in time? It's down to 7,000 health. It will finally, however, force Acer to back away as Cooper and Snoopy show up.
Yeah, really, really great use there. The Shirelia's Reverie and the Acceleration Gate, had those abilities not been there, then that definitely would have been one dead Zyra. On the flip side now, CLG, they've smelled blood and they've decided to start shoving down this mid lane. We'll see whether or not they're just going to go straight for the tower, and it looks like they will. Wicked with a huge amount of armor and HP. He's just going to face tank this. The laser goes through, does practically nothing to Wicked, in fact. Life Binding is going to catch absolutely nobody, I'm afraid, but Lucy Singularity will put some damage down, and the first inhibitor tower is down of the game at 38 minutes. They land a stun onto Udia, but decide not to chase. Grasping Roots, Ultra in place. CLG decided they're going to continue the siege. They want the inhibitor, and they can take this fight. The stun does land into Amazing. Follows it up with a little bit more DPS, a little bit more burst. Jace has been caught out. He's been dropped low, is shut down from Yellow Pete. The rest of CLG are still floating around, just playing the interference game, playing the matchup where, controlling it. Don't let them get close. 5 versus 4. It's going to be an easy inhibitor. My assumption, there's the ping on Baron. CLG are going to pick it up.
They're just so good at backing in, pushing off, peeling away. Stun goes up to the Citizen, more damage down to Amy. Acer just have no health in any of these engagements right now. CLG poking in, peeling away, poking in, peeling away. And at the same time, yes, they're taking a lot of poke because Acer have got a strong poke comp. CLG don't care, they have too much health, they have too much different regions. Wicked, he's getting 85 a tick there before he'd even engage the Baron. His health regen is just so strong, and even now he is, without hitting anything, he's getting 23 health, it seems to be a second. So, he's going to start this Baron up very quickly, and with now Pete over the wall, now going to get it up to 6,500 health before Lume and Amazing now arrive. Ward gets killed straight away though. Snoopy still has that Oracle's in on here. Acer is starting to appear though. Gonna get victim of the wolf and Lucius again. The laser comes out, does just help CLG with this kill. Down to 2,000 health. Snoopy's here though. He's got Consume and Smite. They're gonna leap onto Amazing. The Smite goes out and Amazing steals the Baron!
So well done. I think it was the collateral damage.
It was Lumi. I don't want to take it away from Lumi. The steal goes in from Graves. Collateral damage over the wall. Brilliantly played by Acer. Not win the game yet, not turning it around, but it's given them a massive boost now. They've got this regeneration, they can go up against CLG's poke now. They've got the damage they need in these fights, but not if Citizen gets caught out by Frog and he's going out so low and he's still stunned up in that ultimate, has to flash over the wall just to get out in time because the Ignite was ticking too hard.
Yeah, he does get away with his life though, so the important thing there is that he's still got the Baron buff. Once again, he still does not actually have the Athene's Unholy Grail or any form of mana regen with the exception of that Doran's Ring. So having that, the ability power as well as the mana regen that Baron buff is going to grant you, it's going to help him keep the poke up, help him sustain those spell usage and keep pumping them out there. You can also see that Jace is working towards the makings of a Last Whisper. He does have that pickaxe. He has 400 gold in his back pocket. He just finished his Mercury trades at long last. That's going to play into his favor. Once he gets that Last Whisper combined, the burst from his Shock Blast, the burst from Graves, Buckshot and Collateral, and from the final Spark, it might be enough. But just look how tanky the rest of CLG are. Another Giant's Belt has been picked up by Wicked to complement his Shirelia's Reverie now, and the 2 chest pieces of armor. It's just so much HP and so much armor. He's going to be unkillable.
4,777 hit points. That is a massive Viking running around here. And what ways they have to do against it? Not really sure much. They can't poke him down because of that Randuin's Warmogs and Force of Nature now. If he just comes running at them, so they can't CC and they're just going to have to try and burst through mid-damage. He is so tanky. It's going to be a real issue if CLG ever actually just goes straight in for a fight. They might just keep peeling and throwing undertows, in which case that's all he's there for. It's just an undertow bot to slow as Acer chase. But we will see. Acer do still have this Baron now for another 2 minutes. They have not got an inhib in mid lane, but they have exposed the inhibitor turret for CLG. Are they going to use this to try and poke against it? They are going to poke onto a Nivea though. They're going to poke onto Froggens and Nivea, who now has a Death Cap complete and an Arcane Ooze complete on top of all the items he's had since the start of the game. Not really sure how successful this is going to be. They're more than likely going to lose the Baron buff just for timing out. while they try this push. And I think they know this and they are starting to back away.
They're just going to counter push the rest of the lanes. They realize that both top and bottom is not going in their favor. And if they don't turn that middle lane push into some sort of advantage, they're going to lose another inhibitor. You know, it's just going to tear them apart. I do have to say, the thought occurred to me when we're looking at the 003 Nordic Viking of Wicked. It's a homage to DreamHack. It's a homage to all things Viking, and he's gone absolutely amazing this game. 003 on the kills, as has Froggen, and he's still maintaining a 10 CS per minute average. 435, 36 creeps at the 44-minute mark, and almost steals it. Almost steals the blue buff.
Wicked gets it instead, and he's now just going to face tank this turret. Snoopy moves in to try and do some damage. Immediately darts away though as Snoopy gets there and forces him to take the shot. But some more wave clear now. CLG are going to push onto this tier 2 in the bottom lane for Acer. 5 turrets to 4. We have more dead turrets than we've had dead champions in this game. CLG, that nice wall from Froggen does cut Acer in half. Now he gets his ult down onto Lumi. Lumi's going to get forced to flash to avoid that knockup from Snoopy. He's now so low that Acer do have to back off this turret. CLG just face taking it. Doesn't care if they get snared up. They will kill the turret. Collateral damage goes out. There's the ult from Ezreal. Does take Lumi so low. CLG not quite in range to finish him off though. Now they're going to rotate around there. They've got Super Crews pushing into the mid lane. Yellow P taking an equal amount of poke here now. Has got that final spark up, Citizen. Are you ready to go for it? Can you catch Yellow P? He's cutting him off if he did, but he's got to go on lifesteal off of the wall. Now here's Froggen using that ultimate, using that wall just to completely zone Acer away from their own bottom turret. Not too much damage onto it though, as Yellow Pete's not here. Going to stun him out, get a little more vision. Pete does come back in now after lifestealing away. Mid lane still got super creeps in there, although the inhib has just respawned. Now there's an engage coming out from Acer. They're going to leap in onto Wicked, not the best target because they're Ragnarok, and they immediately have to turn around and back away once it's popped. Going to catch that slow though. He's going to come in with a reckless swing. Another undertow, some more damage coming down. Wicked taking the full force of Acer here, but he's not really caring too much. Quick heal comes out, and it just does so much of his health back that he can stroll away from that turret despite everything Acer put on.
Yeah, a lot of poke, a lot of damage. They're still keeping up the pressure though. Team Acer, they tried to commit to that fight. I don't know if Olaf was the best target. Nevertheless, they got away with it. They saved their lives. Inhibitors back up in the middle lane. They're going to do their best to defend it. There's a couple of members of CLG that are low. Snoopy eats a shock blast combo to his face. Crepper's gone forward. Solar Flare goes down. Citizen Wayne has been removed from the fight. This is 4 versus 5. CLG are low, but can they close out more? Look at their HP bars. They've picked up the kill. They've decided maybe this isn't the best engagement. Let's see. Waiting for another Zenith Blade. Can Crepper catch anybody else? If he does manage to land another snare or stun, it's going to secure yet another kill. But on the back of that very, very nice Zenith Blade through the wall, they pick up the kill, they pick up the inhibitor, and CLG are going to say, hey, look, creeps on the bottom lane, we'll pick this one up as well.
You get a low health when he comes out from creep after that collateral damage. Lumina coming in, trying to fight Yellow Pete, but there's the ult comes down from Froggen to slow him on his chase. CLG have picked up that bottom turret there, and that's all they're happy with. They're going to leave now as the rest of Acer are coming back. Shaft is here, and Amazing is here. CLG don't have too much health left of their own, but Acer ultimately cannot chase it. Their mid inhib is down again. The top turret is going to take another brute force attack from minions shortly. CLG are infesting their jungle, but there's no one there that can really do too much about it. Wicked, he doesn't care. He's not going anywhere. He's still got all his items. He's still got that massive health regen. He's just going to keep CSing. 331. 450 on Froggen, and he doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. But again, after all that, an inhib went down again. An inhib turret in the bottom went down again. But it was still just the one death.
He got it. Undertow and Reckless, he managed to steal away the red buff as well. So it's just so nicely done there. Really, really well played by Wicked and the rest of the team. Look at the itemization as well. Double Randian's Omen. You've got an Abyssal Scepter now in the hands of Snoopy. So he's going to be, getting into the thick of it, getting in amongst everybody, lowering their magic resistance, and allowing Froggen to just, deal even more damage and just melt them even further. Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, Trinity Force, Quicksilver Sash, and the makings of a Guardian Angel in the hands of Yellow Pete. And it's what can Acer do? They're still 10,000 gold behind, which, 15 minutes ago was a lot of money. But 10,000 gold now, it's starting to be less significant. The thing that's incredibly important for them, they don't have inhibitors. One open, one down and one open, it's a scary place to be.
Especially with the Baron respawning very shortly. Froggen now has an Oracle's up. He's going to come in, take this one out of the back of the Baron pin. There he goes. He's still carrying a fair amount of gold, 1,200. Look at all the gold in CLG, but they have nothing to spend it on at the moment. Wicked has another 1,800. He is currently in the process of recalling. What's he going to spend it on? Froggen doesn't get found by Shad. Take a little bit of hope, but he just shrugs it off. Wicked, he's back on the base. Is it going to be a frozen mana? He's got 1,800 still sitting in there, waiting for a little bit more gold to come out. And there it is, a second of Warbox.
I love it. I love it. We've seen Darian doing it earlier in the week. What's his HP now? Just for interest's sake. I mean, have a quick look. 5,282 HP before he starts filling the secondary Warmogs. The numbers are beyond insane. He's 004. If he picks up 3 more assists, I think he's going to be even cooler than James Bond. And that's definitely what he's going to be trying to work towards. You see a grasping roots landing, and you know, Acer, they're in this position where they cannot pick a fight, but they cannot lead either. Final spark goes down. That's good damage across the board. Manages to land a light blinding. Crystallizes there, forced to flash over the wall. Now they're going to carry on chasing. Look at Crepo's HP. The thing is, if Crepo dies and he gets some of his CC out, CLG don't mind. He's a champion that, you know, needs to throw himself in there, land that solar flare. Up in the top lane, Feral Scream is there. It's going to apply the silence onto Emmy. He's going to land a Strangleforce now. Grasping Root rather, carry on chasing. Just sidesteps that rupture. No idea how that one missed. He eats yet another undertow. Surely as Reverie gets popped, the effect is through the wall, or the trees rather, and allows them to get to safety. So once again, Acer, you know, they don't give up more than they need to. This is, you know, an 8-kill game at 50 minutes, but Acer are playing it very well.
Yeah, they're just counteracting CLG's poke with some more of the poke of their own, not letting them peel without taking too much free damage. Rookie gets caught by Citizen Wayne again though. Frog gonna flash over the wall, gets a great crystallize off. Citizen has no flash! He's gonna fall down to Yellow Pete's ultimate, and it even cancels Final Spark.
What a play! Such aggressive there from Froggen, but he knew he was going to land it. He knew he was going to get the stun. He knew he had the burst available, and that is why Froggen is banned in almost every single game we see. Lumi does have the Guardian Angel up and available, the only member of Team Acer that does, but with Lux down and the burst not available, you got to feel it's not going to be enough. Olaf, Wicked, he's deciding to solo Barret, and I think he'll be able to do it with this HP regen and the damage. But nevertheless, the rest of CLG coming around, they join him. They're going to pick up the second Baron of the game, the first one for CLG. And you have to feel that this is now the potential final nail in the coffin. Lumi's going to get his Guardian Angel proc, but the rest of CLG maybe going to go away.
Baron's down to 2,500 health, and that will fall in the second middle of this fight. There it goes. But Crepo and Froggen are still here in the Acer jungle. Lumi now taking a lot of damage, of course. He's come back up from that GA, but he still hasn't got the rest of his health back. Froggen is trying to chase onto Shabs, but of course that acceleration getting Shabs is out safe. CLG, after that Baron, have rotated around towards the mid lane, where Emmy is just trying to keep tabs of him because of his plants, or with his plants, sorry. But Wicked are leading the charge straight into the Acer base. Going to start on this bottom inhibitor. That will be the second dead inhib if it goes down. The Yellow Pete is now here, and it's going to go very quickly as that has happened. There is inhib number 2 for CLG. 7 turrets to 4, 7 kills to 2. Acer have not given this up just yet. CLG still in their base, undertowing straight through all the creeps. Wicked just throwing those axes out. Taking a little bit of poke, couple of auto attacks. Nothing too serious. Citizen Wayne's getting knocked up again. Reckless swing comes out from Wicked. He's going to land that undertow and keep stuck on into with a slow. Want to go under those turrets, but there's a crystallize from Froggen. He's not taking any damage there from Mimi, but now that Lumi comes in, Froggen has to back away. There's auto attacks from Graves, do still hurt. Final Spark comes out, does catch Creepo just a little bit, and CLG have decided, yeah, we can't push through this. This is too strong of a hold. We'll back away. Dodging that Zenith blade. Just a little bit of poke over the wall, just grab vision. They do find Froggen in that bush using that last seed. But CLG with the creeps killing that top turret, and now onto the final inhibitor turret of Acer's base. Snare goes down onto Snoopy again. There's acceleration again for a little bit more poke, but there's still creeps here. Not that Wicked needs those. He's going to face tank it anyway. He comes in, Pete gets snared up, but it's nothing too serious. It's only by Zyra. Still just lots of abilities firing out from both sides. Knockup does go down to Lumi. No, silence will not land. He does dash away. Lumi now taking some more damage. Amazing, taking very low by the Reckless Ring from Wicked, but they're still not ready to go in for the full engagement of this. There's a great ult comes in from Creeper that catches Lumi on top. He gets beasted by Creeper. By Cho. He's going to flash away, taken down by Yellow Pete's ultimate. Amazing that under his own Nexus turret. CLG having to stay onto this inhib. Will now focus onto the top. That's all 3 down because Acer cannot stop it. Can they try and defend their Nexus turrets? They do get a final spark across everyone, and CLG are all totally taken very, very low. Start working on the left and the right hand turret. Yellow Pete starts to work through the right one. It's going down quickly, but Acer, amazing, has been caught out. There's the undertow. Pete gets the next kill as the turret falls. Only one Nexus turret is left up. Wicked is tanking 3 members of Acer, trying to bounce around the fountain. That turret is about to drop down. There it goes. The Nexus has been exposed. Wicked right on the edge of the fountain, and CLG take the second game of the group in very much 51 minutes.